Om Jnanatimidandasya Jnanam Jadasharakaya Chakshurun Militam Jaina Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Jaina Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostate Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakarpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Eva Cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Namahum Vishnu Padaya, Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale, Srimate Bhakti Vedanta, Swaminiti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Harival. Well, there are senior devotees here, and I feel so much unqualified to speak in front of the senior Vaishnavas, so I'm begging deeply for your kind blessings so that I may be able to share this beautiful holy pastime. So I'm so happy to be with all of you today. Actually, our greatest joy is to be in the association of devotees. That's what Sanatana Goswami he said. He said the greatest suffering in life is to be separated from the association of devotees. So we're so fortunate to be together and to chant and hear together. This is our greatest fortune. And this is by the mercy of Srila Prabhupada that we can be here together today. So there was a few things on my mind that I wanted to share with you before continuing with the holy pastime. But as we were chanting together, it kind of came away, so I guess I will go straight to the pastime. We'll see if it comes back. Oh, I think it's this side. Oh, yeah. Okay. So we'll go to where we were last time. But again, to hear together about the pastimes of Braj is very, very special. It's very precious. And that's why we should really take every opportunity to heart. Just like Prabhupada said, we should not waste any time in Krishna consciousness. And that's true. But the time that we have together is very important for us, and we should take full advantage of it. Because, we were discussing about that the other day. Actually, bhakti is, if we understand the dynamic of bhakti, it's not like that. We are like that, huh? This is the roller coaster of our mind and the modes of nature. But bhakti is like what? What is the flow of bhakti? Yes. And yes, it's like that. So in that way, it is ever increasing, ever what?
Ever new, ever fresh, ever increasing.
Yes, and it's ever expanding, and this for eternity. So if we understand the flow of bhakti, we're not meant to go like this, and we're discussing every day we should go. I mean, if, like you were saying, it's like this, it's like a rocket. Actually, there's one, he was not a Vaishnava, but I like that example, so I'll give it. So there was one, a yogi, he was saying, actually, you can, in your spiritual life, you can kind of like, how do you say, you crawl. You can crawl on the ground as you advance, you can walk, you can run, or you can be put on a bullock cart. Or you can take a car, or you can take a plane, or you can take a jet. So actually, by the mercy of Srila Prabhupada, the previous acharyas, and our guru, we are proposed, into bhakti. And we know for certain that our guru, Srila Prabhupada, all the acharyas, they want us to progress spiritually. It is their utmost desire. They don't want us to stay stagnant in Krishna consciousness. They want us to attain the perfection of life, which is Krishna prema. So we have to actually, when we want to advance in Krishna consciousness, it's not just out of our own volition. Because what can we do on our own? We have to be sincere. What can we do on our own? Huh? I mean,
Cry.
sorry?
Cry.
Yes, exactly. We can cry to be picked up. So actually, we're so much dependent on our Guru, on Srila Prabhupada, on the mercy of Radha and Krishna. And if we dispose ourselves like very sincerely, just like once Sachinanand Maharaj, he said, we should not be impatient achievers, we should be humble receivers. That's nice. Huh? We should be humble receivers. But actually, yes, there's a point in bhakti where it doesn't depend on our own strength anymore. We are carried away by the mercy of the Vaishnavas. And this is something that is very important for us. Actually, yes, everything happens by the mercy of the Lord. And we have to cry for the mercy of the Lord. We have to cry at the deepest recesses of our heart because the mercy is there. And the Lord wants to help us to develop love for Him, but we really have to cry sincerely. I remember, I was asking my Guru, how can we receive the bhajan of our Guru in our heart? How is that possible to receive His love, His bhajan, His personal bhajan in our heart? And you know what He said? You have to cry so much. You have to shed so many tears so that this comes in your heart. So we should dispose ourselves internally to cry, to receive that mercy, because it is there, it is available. And there's a verse in Shastra, in the Vedas, that says that liberation comes when we desire it. But it's the same thing with prema. Prema comes when we desire it. Mercy comes when we desire it. So we have to desire it sincerely, and magic will happen in our life. Krishna is a person, he's a loving person, and he loves us, and he has a special desire for us to attain perfection. And we should take sincere shelter of that. If we actually try on our own, because in this world we are habituated since millions of lifetimes to kind of try to be in control of what we do, to try to push on something. But actually, the dynamic of bhakti is completely different. It's just we are carried away. It's a ascending process, and we are carried away by the flow of mercy. My guru wrote a very nice book called Prayers for Perfection, where it talks about the blade of grass. How can the blade of grass receive the mercy? It's just by being carried away by this wind of mercy. So we have to put ourselves like blades of grass. The blade of grass, actually, he talks about the straw. Because the straw, it's not attached to anything, and it's just standing there ready to be trampled by everything and anybody. But the blade of straw, the piece of straw can be easily, if it accepts, that flow of mercy can be very easily carried away towards the lotus feet of Radha and Krishna. And for us, this is a very important meditation. We should meditate on this piece of straw so that we can be carried away by this wind of mercy. So I just wanted to speak about that a little bit. Okay, are you ready for Holi War Part 3? Okay. Yes. Let me find. Yes. Okay. So we spoke about when the two messengers returned, everything changed at that time. So where were these two messengers? Who were these?
There was Madhu Mangal and Shridham.
Subal. Yes. Madhu Mangal, Subal, and there were three messengers. Ujvala, yes. So Subal said, "My dear Lord, I really don't think we should let the gopis get away with this. They have offended us by showing us superior strength. If we let this grow, we will be soon driven out of Vrindavan." I just wanted to go back to that one because that's when we left last time. So when Krishna, he heard his two friends speaking like that, Madhu Mangal said, "They're not so bad, Krishna. There was a queue of gopis who honored me, each giving me a Manohar Laddu and playing unprecedented music." And how does Krishna take action after that? So what happens? What does Krishna do when he hears what Subal and Madhu Mangal tells him? What does he do after that?
He makes a battle plan.
Not exactly. So the first thing is, what is Krishna's favorite weapon that he's always keeping with him?
Flute.
Yes, it's flute. So when Krishna heard his two friends, he was encouraged by the Viraras. We're saying it's like the chivalry. He was inspired by that. So Krishna, he starts playing his flute. So when Krishna plays his flute, what are the purposes of Krishna playing his flute? There are many purposes. There are unlimited purposes, I would say. Because Krishna reciprocates with everybody through the song of his flute in different ways. But what are the kind of main purposes, kind of some of the purposes that the reasons why he plays the flute?
To attract devotees.
To attract devotees, yes. But like more specifically when he is in Vrindavan.
To call the name of Radharani.
Yes,
Attract
definitely.
He's calling cows back.
Yes, exactly. To indicate how the cows should go back to him. Yes, anything else? To make the Yamuna still and firm so that the cows can walk over it. It's amazing. Huh? And also to bewilder Shiva, Brahma, and Ananta. We know that, there's this verse, I don't remember it's in which book, but it says that actually when Krishna plays the flute, all the demigods, they're completely bewildered. And also, we know, Shukadev Goswami, he describes the enchanting effect of Krishna's flute on the gopis, like Mataji were saying. And he says very beautifully, when Mukunda vibrates his flute, he places it to his lips. He stops the holes with his tender fingers. He rests his left cheek on his left arm and he makes his eyebrows dance as he plays. And then at this time, the demigoddesses were there. What happens to them? They're in the sky with their husband. And something's happened. Almost, yes. And they are in the sky. They're about to fall down. And they're completely embarrassed because their mind is ready to run after Krishna. But actually what's very beautiful is that even the husbands themselves, they become attracted by what? By the love that the demigoddesses they have for Krishna. When the husbands, they see how much love, they're completely like, their garments is loosening and they're just ready to fall so that they can run to Krishna. When the husbands, they see that, they're touched by the love of the demigoddesses. And they start to develop love for Krishna also. So that's how they reciprocate with their wives. So, yes. Let's go back to yes. Okay. Okay, so meanwhile, what were the Sakas doing after that? After Krishna, he started to play his flute, the Sakas, they started to do something. They prepared for the attack. Because the gopis were ready, So actually, there's have you ever heard of the Bheri drum? Do you know what it is? So the sakas, they use it. Actually, there's a huge drum. And the sakas, there can be 8 sakas around the drum that place together on this drum. So the sakas, they brought the bheri drum, and they brought it, they were playing on it as they were walking, and then they brought it close to where the gopis were staying. And they started to bang. And they park it, none other than Pilipokor, just in Barshana. So they went to Pilipokor, which is just close to the palace of Rishabhanu Maharaj and Kirtida Sundari. And then they started to beat on the Bedam. 8 sakas like this. And they were announcing to everyone that the Holi War was going to start. So, but there was a problem. Krishna had played his flute. And Lalita, she became very excited. So she ran over to Srimati Radharani and she exclaimed, "Hey Radha, why are you getting bewildered right now? This is not the time to faint. You must be absolutely alert and focus all your energy. Look at the sakas. They're singing, ho, ho, holy, ho, ho, holy." So Lalita's heart, because it's Lalita Saki, it was filled with determination. And she continued, "They really think they can win this war. But don't worry. By the strength of your lotus feet, we will crush them all. We will also make the son of Nanda fall at your lotus feet." So remember this benediction of Lalita Saki, this blessing. So Lalita, she then advised Radharani, "This is not the moment to faint. Instead, I suggest the following strategy." And what was that strategy? "Let us use every bit of our energy to penetrate their troop, go straight to the heart of their army, and defeat them there, and spread our victory from there." And the gopis, they were really motivated by Lalita's speech. So they took their sticks and they exclaimed, "Yes, today Radharani will win." So as soon as the Sakis, they actually, as soon as the Sakis, they heard the sound of Radharani's ankle bells, all their pride came away because that sound was so sweet. And actually, when Krishna, he hears also the sound of Radharani's ankle bell, his flute falls to the ground, his crown, it starts to slip from his head, and then it falls into the dust. So Krishna was hearing also, and although he was ready for war, the gopis were actually completely enamored by the beauty of her ankle bells, and Krishna, he felt like disturbed by that very sweet sound. And then, so Krishna was actually worried because he was thinking if he keeps hearing the sound of her ankle bells, then he will lose his pitambara, his dhoti. So much he was trembling. And at this time, Krishna will forget all his sakas, the cows, because he was just so much absorbed in meeting Srimati Radharani. And then, actually, Lalita Saki, she was describing that to Radharani. Actually, when he hears your ankle bells, he will have no other choice but to surrender to you. So, actually, there's yes. In Vrindavan during Holi, so it's described by the Acharyas that there are certain elements in Holi that are a must. What are the must, like, how to say? What elements are essential in the Holi War? Colors, yes. What else?
Water.
Sorry?
Water.
Water, yes. What else? Abusive words. Because it's war. Musical instruments like the flute, and then attacks and counterattacks. So, but there's also, because it's a sweet pastime, there has to be sweet singing, because without sweet singing, where is the spirit of Vrindavan and Holi? So actually, when we were speaking about the Vira Rasa, when the rasa of heroism, it awakens in Radharani, then she prepares for the holy battle. And actually, the gopis, they prepare by harming themselves with large plates, filled with colored powders, bells filled with colors, it's like a bomb. Pots of liquid colors, quivers filled with fragrant color balls and flowers. And the gopis, they're dressed very beautifully. And they're eager for this battle of love. And they bang the ground all together with their flower sticks. And the sound reaches the Saka's camp. And it is signaling the seriousness of this holy battle, because the gopis are ready. So actually this pastime, because we see these pastimes are so special. We're describing how in Vrindavan it can last for 40 days, the Holi War. And sometimes, the brothers and sisters, they throw like wet chadar, and the ladies, they have sticks, and they're fighting the husbands with sticks like that. Well, there's another festival that happens in Manipur this time, and it's very beautiful. There are thousands of ladies that are dressed like gopis, but in beautiful skirts. And together they dance like that, and they have flower sticks, a stick but made of flowers. And then they bang with, they have like companions like that in this big dancing, and then they hit at each other's sticks with the flower sticks like that, and then they dance around in a circle. So it's a very beautiful festival that they do in Manipur. So when Krishna and the Sakas, they see the Sakis coming, they hear this intense sound. And the gopis, they advance towards the Sakas like an army. And the sound of their flower sticks, it grows louder and louder. And then they reach into their bells. We're just saying that they're just like bombs. They reach into their bells, and then they throw colors into the sky, just to announce they're coming. And then the sky becomes yellow, pink, green, and even black. And it blinds the eyes of all those who are present with love. And after that, leading the charge is none other than, who is leading the charge of the Gopis army? Srimati Radharani herself. So she has emerged because she was like kind of hypnotized by the beauty of Krishna. So then she kind of like wakes up for a bit, and then fully absorbed in this Vira rasa, in the rasa of heroism, Radharani, she twirls a blue lotus in her hand as if to show Krishna, I will make you twirl, absorbed in this Vira rasa. So then, I will make you twirl just like this blue lotus. I will make you twirl effortlessly. So as the attack is kind of coming to like a peak, there's a cuckoo's call that serves as our cue to begin the attack. Cuckoo, cuckoo. And then the Sakis, they start attacking the Sakas. And then all the gopis, they join Radharani, and together they show Krishna and the Sakas their syringes filled with colors. And they actually, as they're throwing colors, they make beautiful gestures with their hands and their eyes like that. They move very beautifully like they're dancing. And then Vishaka, she dances. Chitra, she plays the Veena. And Sudevi, she sings. While Vrinda, she plays the Mrinanga to the rhythm of the battle. At this time, Subali notices Krishna that becomes dizzy upon seeing Radharani. And then he remarks, oh, Shyamsundar, every time you see Radha, you keep asking me who she is, as if it's the first time you've seen her. I don't find it surprising because this is true love. Please, Shyam, control yourself now. Don't become unconscious. So Krishna, who is fully in love with Radharani, he smiles and he says, hey Saka, you don't know? This is my Radha who is coming. She is an ocean of good qualities. No one can even come close to her. She's increasing her qualities moment by moment. For me, she is both a rasayana, a medicine that is both sweet and healthy, and a kalpavriksha tree that fulfills my desires. I forget all other gopis, and when I hear the name of Radha, I forget even you, Subal, and the cows in the forest. Everyone says I attract the entire universe, but in front of Radha, everything is different. I am known as Madan Mohan, but she is
Madan Mohan Mohini.
Madan Mohan Mohini. So I just wanted to share something very beautiful from Srila Prabhupada, just so we appreciate the mercy of Srimati Radharani. We're speaking at the beginning how it is important to put ourselves under the mercy of the Vaishnavas and Radha and Krishna. And in Radhastami, on September 5th, 1973, Srila Prabhupada shares something very beautiful about the mercy of Radharani. Listen carefully, it's very, very sweet. So Prabhupada says, Radharani is Haripriya, very dear to Krishna. So if we approach Krishna through Radharani, through the mercy of Radharani, then it becomes very easy. If Radharani recommends that this devotee is very nice, then Krishna immediately accepts however full I may be. Because it is recommended by Radharani, Krishna accepts. Therefore, in Vrindavan, you will find all the devotees there chanting more Radharani's names than Krishna's. Wherever you go, you will find the devotees addressing Jai Radhe, Jai Radhe. You will find still in Vrindavan they are glorifying Radharani. They are more interested in worshipping Radharani because however fallen I may be, if somewhere or other I can please Radharani, then it is very easy for me to understand Krishna. I may be the most fallen rascal, but if I try to reach Krishna to Radharani, then my business is successful. Therefore, we should worship Radharani first. That is our business. Instead of offering one flower to Krishna, just put it in the hands of Radharani. My dear mother Radharani, if you kindly take this flower and offer it to Krishna, then Radha says, oh, you have brought a flower for Krishna? But don't try to offer to Krishna directly. Just offer to Radharani. It will be very much appreciated by Radharani. So this is our philosophy, to please Krishna through Radharani. And just today is the auspicious day of Radharani's appearance. So we should offer Pushpanjali and pray to Radharani that, Radharani, so many Radharanis. This is Prabhupada. Kindly be merciful and tell about me to your Krishna, to your Krishna. To your Krishna, Krishna is yours. Krishna, Radha Krishna. Krishna is not independent. Krishna is Radharani's property. So you have to approach Krishna through Radharani. That is, today is the auspicious day. Worship Radharani very nicely and be happy. Very beautiful, no? Jai Shri Prabhupada ki Jai. So, Krishna, let us go back to the Holi War. So, he continues to speak, but he becomes dizzy. And he needs something to lean on. So at that time, there's actually, because the land of Braj is always there to serve Krishna, because Krishna needs something to lean on, there's a tamal tree that mystically appears just next to Krishna. And then he leans on the tamal tree like that. And but Madhu Mangal, he sees Krishna's ecstatic condition. And he says, don't worry, I see you're dizzy because you're afraid of the gopis who have eyes like lotuses. And I see that you have lost your flute. I see that you have lost your cloth. I see that you have forgotten who you are. And I've seen that you have forgotten your friends. But take courage. I'm a Brahmana. I will fight on your side. And then the gopis, they begin their counterattack. They throw colors that fill the sky. Radharani, she sees Krishna's condition. She takes a flower ball. She dips it into a bowl of fragrant sandalwood paste. And she hurls it at Krishna. Bang! The ball explodes on his chest. And then it drenches all over him with saffron color infused. And then they are actually smelling very sweet, these fragrant like balls. Why? Why this saffron-colored ball smells so sweet when Krishna... Yes, exactly. Because there's a certain fragrance that clings to the flower ball. And this is the fragrance of Radharani's hand. And then, like a proud, intoxicated elephant, Krishna appears completely overwhelmed by what's happening to him. And then he takes red kumkum, he rubs it all over Radharani's face like that. And then, okay, let me ask you a question. Why does he put red kumkum on Radharani's face? What does red color symbolize for Krishna?
His passion for Radharani.
Yes, but something else.
Marriage.
Sorry?
Being married or having intimate connection.
Yes, it's close. But there's something particular. The red color symbolizes the topmost love that Krishna has for Radharani. And then Krishna is completely lost in the intensity of that moment. And he forgets himself completely, as if like he's just completely mesmerized by the beauty of Radharani's face. because he sees Radharani, she becomes particularly beautiful as Krishna. He applies the red kumkum of his love at the face of Radharani. Then he looks at her and he's just completely bewildered by her sweetness. And then Radharani, although she's not actually offended by what Krishna did, she feigns like a pained expression, but she's kind of like hiding her delight, you know. And then at that moment, she has like she lifts her hand, which is just like a lotus, and then she playfully hits Krishna on the face. Boom! Because actually, in Braj, there's a name for this that is called Gulcha. Gulcha. So, actually, even we're saying, even like in holy pastimes in Vrindavan, about the Brajbasis, I'm speaking like that are present today, they do that also. The Matajis, they slap the Prabhus on the face as they're playing holy. So actually, if you ever receive a gulcha on the face from a Brajbasi, then you can understand you have been accepted in their village. This is the custom, actually. This is the culture of Braj. So they do that playfully. It's very intimate. So, okay. The playful chaos continues. And then Binna Devi, she steps in because she has to come. Something's going to happen. So she declares, we need to pause. Krishna has broken the rules. He is so strong, but not loving at all. He has stepped forward and he has put with great force the color into Radha's eyes, and our Radha is painted. Krishna has no choice. He must accept Radharani's punishment. And what is that punishment? Let us hear. But first, Krishna says, but what is the punishment? So what does Radharani do? She colors his eyes with kajal like that. So Radharani, she signals to Sudevi, who brings a pot of kajal, and then she steps forwards, and with her left hand, she tilts Krishna's chin upward, and she pulls him closer like that. And she's trembling at that time with excitement, and then she carefully smears kajal around his eyes like that, all around like a circle. And then she puts it all around his face. And then, actually, Krishna, when the Sakis, they see him like that, he ends up looking just like a ghost because he's black all over on his face. So, as this happens, Radharani, she gazes deeply at that time into Krishna's eyes. And actually, she holds his beauty to her heart like that. And then when everyone sees Radha and Krishna together in this meeting of Holi, everyone is completely touched by this gazing of Radha and Krishna together like this. The Sakis, they're overjoyed. And then they bring out a variety, different kinds of instruments. Wind instruments like flutes, shenais, different kinds of instruments like hand sticks, and all kinds of instruments to start playing, to kind of bring in a sweet melody to the atmosphere. And then at that time, because the Sakis, they're sometimes stunned by the beauty of the pastime as they see Radha and Krishna looking at each other. Although they're trying to play, they don't know how to keep the rhythm. And actually, because they don't know how to play, because they're just mesmerized by the beauty of Radha and Krishna, the instruments themselves, they start to play on their own. As the Sakis are just like statues, frozen on the spot. Beautiful. And then the Sakis, they get up on their feet and they begin to dance. And in Braj, dancing starts with
The eyes.
the feet. Actually, we shared in the past a beautiful pastime, the last string pastime. And Radharani, I think it's during Kartik. I mean, the Maharasa Lila is about to happen. And Radharani, although she's the queen of dancing, she wants to learn dancing from Krishna. And then Krishna, he shows her the 7 different types of dancing of the head, of the eyes, of the hands, of the hips, the feet, the whole body. Anyway, the 7 types of dancing Krishna is showing to Radharani. But then the Sakis, they start with the feet, then they move with their knees, their waist, their upper body, their mouth, the eyes, the eyebrows, until every part of the body joins in this festival of love. And then, actually, their arms, they wave gracefully in the air as they're dancing. and the atmosphere becomes very enlivening. And then, meanwhile, the Sakas, they notice that the Sakis, they're winning the holy battle by their singing, their dancing, and playing the instruments. And then they become very afraid that they will lose the battle, and they shout, "Oh, ho, holy! Ho, ho, holy!" And then in their desperation, what do? They start to dance to compete with the Sakis. But in that particular moment, because they want to tease the Sakis, they dance but without rhyme or rhythm. And then they do the exact opposite of what is graceful. They sing whatever they want. Some they dress as women, others as ghosts, and still others as like yogis. And they start dancing like that, dressed in different costumes. And then they also show their sticks like that to Radha and the gopis. And what the gopis do, they show their sticks again. And then they approach each other like that. And then they get down, and then Shyam and the Sakas, they start beating them. Actually, the gopis, they approach with their sticks, and they approach so much the Sakas that they try to beat them. And it's described by the Goswami, Gadadhar Bhatta Goswami. He says that actually he beats them so intolerably, so intensely that finally the Gopas and Krishna, they're forced to run away at this point. So then as Krishna and his companion, they start to flee, chased by the gopis, all of Vrindavan erupts in laughter. Everyone is laughing as they see the gopas running away like that. And Krishna, although he is the Lord of the universe, he is beaten with the flower sticks. And then he has to admit defeat and run away. So the birds of Vrindavan at that time proclaim, Radharani ki! Yeah. And then Vishaka, she goes around, she spreads the news, today Radharani has triumphed. And then the Sakis, and each Saki, accompanied by 8 servants, Manjaris, they chase the Sakas until they disappear into clouds of dust, like that. And then the birds, they announce, everyone, listen, be careful. In this land, Radha is the queen, and Krishna has absolutely no influence. So then everyone shouts, Nikundyashwari Shrimati Radhanani ki! Vrishabhanu Nandini Radhanani ki! And then, actually, there's this beautiful expression about Vrindavan. In Vrindavan, everything is reverse. Loss is the highest victory, and victory is the highest loss. Very beautiful. And then, in his heart, Krishna, he tells his army, you're dismissed, we lost. And then in a mock show of moroseness, Krishna, he addresses his friends. My dear friends, please forgive my offenses. I could not lead you into this battle. Now, having lost my kingdom, I request you to leave me. I am a defeated king. Oh brothers, no one should associate with me any longer. I must now take shelter in Parabrahman, the highest Brahman. And then Krishna goes into a kutir. He sits down in a lotus position and he meditates, and as he meditates, he calls upon the moon into his heart, then the sun, then the fire. And in this light, after he sees the fire, Krishna, he sees only one person. Who is she? Srimati Radharani. But Srimati Radharani, she's not happy. And she feels that this holy war, this holy lila, cannot end like this. And she sits there and then she exclaims in despair, oh no, my beloved has run away. Now Vrindavan is no longer a place for me to be. Our victory has become our greatest loss. How are we with time? What time is it?
It's 8:53.
8:53. Okay, we'll continue a little bit. Maybe we can ask if there are any questions or comments
You can
before.
finish, Maharaj. How much is left?
Yes. Okay. Well, there's more left to that
Is it?
pastime. Yes.
Okay.
There's more.
Sure.
So, but are there any questions or comments before we end? No? Okay. So we'll end here because we are at a kind of specific time of the pastime. I don't want to continue for now.
Maharaj, I have a question.
Yes.
So, this holy pastime, as you mentioning that there is this fight between Radharani and Krishna. I mean, they're kind of like having this war here. So, and that happens. This holy festival only happens once a year, or is it something which happens because spring season is not just limited to one part of the year. In Braj, there is different parts of Braj where there is different season. Like in Anand and Navajampuki here, there is some part which has monsoon season. There is part where there is winter season. There is part where there is spring season. So does that mean that there's a part of Braj where the Holi festival is always happening?
Yeah, that's a good question. Well, like it's not necessarily that it happens once a year. Like here, the devotees, the Braj Basis, celebrate once a year.
Yeah.
But time is conspicuous by its absence in Braj. And like you were saying, all the seasons are ever present, the 6 seasons, sometimes more the spring. For example, in the Kund of Lalita Saki, all the 6 seasons are present together.
In the Kunda what?
And of Lalita Saki. Around the Radha Kund, there are the kunds of the Astasakis.
Yeah.
And the particularity why Radha and Krishna, they love so much to go in Lalita Kund, or a special place there, it's because in that place, actually, Lalita Saki, she manifests the 6 seasons, so that Radha and Krishna, they can experience special feelings regarding each season. So, yes, I mean, I've never heard specifically, but definitely because the seasons, they can manifest at different times in different places, then Holi can happen in different times and places. Just like, for example, we see the Dhana Lila, which is the toll pastime. It's not always at the same place. Sometimes it can be at other places also. So Holi can be at other places in different circumstances. It's not just fixed in one place, in one time. Here it is, but in Goloka Vrindavan, as everything is ever fresh, ever new, ever expanding, then naturally these pastimes, they can happen in different time, place, and circumstances. Yeah. Does that answer your question?
Yeah. One more question.
Yes.
You mentioned this pastime of Radharani going to Krishna, asking him to learn dancing, and then mentioning that she lost her ankle bell there. So,
No, that's another pastime.
touring.
Sorry?
She lost her touring there.
Or fingering.
What happened there?
Well, that's a long story, and we will not get into all the details, but just to mention, so basically, Krishna, this is after he showed her how the dancing, and then there's a beautiful description how Krishna first, he shows her the different steps of dancing, and then he wants Radharani to do it, and then she starts dancing, and Krishna, he claps in rhythm as Radharani is dancing, and after that, they spend the afternoon together walking into one specific forest. I don't remember the name now. But they walk through that forest, and as Radharani is completely enamored by the beauty of that forest, she looks at the flowers, the trees, the birds, the bees, the butterflies. And as she's looking around Krishna, he figured at that point, actually, she had a very special ring, which was a ring that was given by her mother, Kirtida Sundari. And when Krishna sees that ring, because it was this ring was very special to Radharani's heart, because it's a mirror ring. It was very dear to her heart because that mirror ring could reflect the beauty of Krishna. As she was, looking at her ring, she could see Krishna's face. Sometimes in moments where actually there are seniors around, So it was very dear to her, and Krishna, when he saw that ring, as she was completely absorbed, he just took the opportunity, took it away, and kind of folded it into his dhoti like that. And then he goes back, and as the Radharani, she goes back into her home, into her room. Actually, she has, what's described is that Radharani, she has one special box, and that box it is Vishaka who takes care of that box. There's a name for that box, which I don't remember now, but that box is taken care of by one manjari, and she makes sure, when she opens it in the morning, there are 64 different ornaments that are there in that box. And she counts 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 30, 40, 61, 62, 63. So she counts in the afternoon as Radharani is coming back, and then she sees that there are only 63 ornaments. One is missing. She counts again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 61, 62, 63. And she turns to Vishaka, Vishaka, there's one ornament that is missing. And then they realized it was the finger ring, the mirror ring of Shrimati Radharani. And Shrimati Radharani, because it's very dear to her heart, she became very angry. And Lalita Saki, she was instilling, anger in the heart of Shrimati Radharani. Then there's a whole pastime where actually Vishaka, she goes to meet with Krishna, and Krishna, he goes into a whole, what happens at that time? I don't remember exactly, but then Krishna, he makes an arrangement so that he can meet Radharani, and then no, actually, I remember now. Krishna is Vishaka. She goes. Yes, yes, yes. Vishaka actually, she speaks to Radharani and she says we should take revenge on Krishna. So while Krishna is sleeping with Madhu Mangal, he didn't want to wake up and Krishna coming out and leaving him behind. So he attached his feet to the feet of Krishna with a rope like that. And then as both of them were sleeping, Vishaka, she came with Radharani, and when she looked at them, she said, we should do something first. And in this pastime, Madhu Mangal, he had a mustache. And then snip, 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 she kind of like, she starts cutting some hair from like his mustache like that. And then she turns to Radharani and she says, Radharani, he has stolen your favorite mirror ring. You should steal all his ornaments. So what does she steal? She steals his peacock feather, his stick, his favorite black chadar, and his flute, like that. And then they go out like this. And then Krishna, there's a beauty. It's a long.
Did they get the finger ring?
Sorry.
Did they get the finger ring? Yet?
Well, actually, what happens is so Krishna first. So they do that, and after Krishna wakes up and everything, and then he realizes what Vishaka did and everything. So there's a whole pastime where actually Krishna well, what happened is that they took revenge because I forgot one detail is that Vishaka, she brought Krishna. And one Manjari, she was looking into Krishna's ornaments and dhoti, to see if it was. And then she found that he had rolled and hidden, folded into his dhoti, the mirroring. And then she brings Krishna to see Radharani, and Krishna is very happy because he can have the audience of his beloved. And then actually, Radharani and Lalita Sakhi, so Lalita, she turns to Radharani and she says, yes, we can see now that Krishna is the culprit. He has stolen your mirror ring. So what should we do? And then Lalita Sakhi, she says, the punishment should be, you should never see him again. And then Radharani, she says, yes, I will never see him again, never. And then she asks Krishna to leave like that. So Krishna goes away. And then he's so much in despair that Madhu Mangal finds a way for him to meet Radharani again, and they decide to dress like old Sakis. And then Madhu Mangal and Krishna, they go to Barshan dressed as old Sakis, and as they're getting closer to the gate of Barshana, no, I think it is in Javat actually, as they're getting closer to the gate, then they start to cry, oh Shamsundar, where are you, where are you? And then Radharani, she hears that, and then she sends the Sakis, and she goes herself after that. And then she's so much touched by the separation that these old Sakis, they're experiencing towards Krishna.
It's almost like Prem Samput.
Yes, exactly. And then what happens after that, it's very beautiful. So finally the Sakis, Radharani, she sees the separation, and they have so much pain and separation from Krishna that Radharani, she becomes confused and she doesn't know what to do. And then Vishaka Sakhi, she says, but Radharani, you have the ornaments of Krishna. Why, since they're feeling so much separation from him, why don't you dress like Shamsundar? And then you go play the flute, and maybe, if you dress like that, they will think you are Shamsundar. And then you will relieve their separation. So then Radharani, she dressed like Krishna with the turban and peacock feather and the flute and the stick and his favorite white and black chadar. And then the Madhu Mangal and actually the others, her name was Shyama Sakhi. Shyama Sakhi. Shyama, was it Shyama? Premi Sakhi. Shyama Premi Sakhi. So they were like kind of lamenting and crying in separation in the close forest to Javat. And then Radharani, she comes and then she plays the flute like that. And when Krishna, he sees Radharani with his ornaments like that, it takes away, all of a sudden, as Radharani is playing the flute, it takes away his like disguise, and like in the blink of an eye like that, it takes away all of Radharani's like ornaments, all of his ornaments, put them back on him, and all the basis, all the residents that were around, they started to laugh and laugh as they saw Krishna's like cleverness, into taking his ornaments again. And then it finishes like that. So just a very beautiful pastime of the mirroring. Yes. So anything else?
Is this the midday pastime you wanted to share?
This pastime of the touring, but it happens to different parts of the day. Yes, because actually, it happens Krishna is with Radharani at lunchtime. I think even actually it happens over many days. Because they have a plan also to steal his flute and things like that. So it's over a few days that it happens. Yeah. Okay. Holi War ki. Jai Shri Radha Krishna ki. The mercy of Srimati Radharani ki. Jai Shri Prabhupada ki. Janatai Gaura Primanande.